cradle.
And that was a huge win against Iowa. I believe he split with that Iowa wrestler last year, and to get a pin against somebody that highly ranked, that's what he needs to do. See, Dudley this year has really picked up his hand fighting. In the last year or two, he spent a little too much hanging in the ties looking for one thing, but he's added that elbow off to a shot, a shuck, just more hand fighting and controlling the pace of the match.
Dudley tied for first on the team for the Huskers with 42 dual points scored. Also has 5 pins on the year. You know, because he has such long arms for for anyone really, he's able to really defend well against takedowns of all kinds. Great movement there, but unable to get anything from it.
Really close to his cradle there. So he got to the front headlock, got to the corner. But Koepke did a great job of just continuing to wrestle.
You see Koepke trying to move Dudley around, trying to get into position for a shot, but Dudley looking good here in defense. Great slide by there by TJ Dudley, straight into a takedown.
Dudley did a great job of lulling him to sleep right there. Dudley was a little patient in the ties, wasn't moving too much. He felt the right pressure and he hit it.
They go out of bounds. Minute 16 remaining in the first period. TJ Dudley with a 2-0 lead. See, look here at that takedown. Just a great slide by. Doesn't even change levels very much. Just is able to let his opponent's momentum take him right on through.
And as soon as he got behind, that's when he dropped his hips, pulled him down.
Koepke up quick. Dudley, though, looking for the return. Brings him back down to the mat.
Along with that cradle that Dudley's so good at, if he can get that cross wrist. He's got a 2-on-1 tilt here that's
getting
tough.
Some back points here on this tilt. On the edge of the mat.
He's great at scrambling here too. Does a roll through tilt when he gets that cross wrist. Basically, if he can grab a hold of you, he's in good position.
4-point near fall for TJ Dudley gives him a 6-0 lead over Koepke with 40 seconds left in the first period. Great job flattening out his opponent.
That's the key. Off the whistle in that first 5 seconds, if you can get your opponent broken down when you're on top, that really stops their momentum, stops their pressure, makes it harder for them to build up. As we've seen so far in this match, the bottom man, if they're not trying really hard to get away, they get called for stalling.
Short time remaining in the first period. TJ Dudley with a great lead, 6-0 right now over Koepke as we head into the second period. Saw some moves you don't normally see out of TJ Dudley with that slide by. He does have a good one. You just don't see it very often.
He's added definitely more of those efficient attacks to his arsenal this year.
Koepke up quick, but TJ Dudley trying to return him. Is able to sit back and return him. Trying to stay on the mat. Koepke able to reach out. They go back to the center.
What the referee's looking for, if both wrestlers are on their feet and the top man is not attempting to return them in any way, that's when the top man will get called for stalling. But right there you saw Dudley continue to move and circle and try and find the weakness and the pressure to pull him down.
Koepke went for a switch, thought he was away, but TJ Dudley able to grab that ankle real quick.
There's that grip right there. He just probably had him just by a shoestring. Pulled it right in.
Dudley now keeping the pressure on. That was a little bit of a scare for TJ Dudley. little bit of a wake-up call for him. Dudley now with the head lever. Gets wrist control.
There's that cross-face cradle that he likes to go for.
Koepke up to his base. Has a wide base here, but up to his feet. Looking for an escape. TJ Dudley, though. There, lets him go. Koepke with a 1-point escape. Both men looking now for any opening they can get. Koepke looking like the more active wrestler at the moment.
Dudley does look a little winded right here. Maybe that's from squeezing so hard on top with his grip.
Club there by Koepke. Gets a single leg, switches over. Dudley doing a great job of defending there.
You could see how he wasn't worried in that position.
You see Koepke, he is really working hard, trying to get some sort of offense going. He's looking really frustrated at the moment.
If he can keep that motion up and that volume of attacks and fakes for another 10 or 15 seconds, I could see the referee giving him a stalling, or calling Dudley for stalling.
That's the end of the second period. TJ Dudley leads this one 6-1. Does have a 2-minute 42-second riding time advantage, so effectively he does have a 7-1 lead.
This point in the match is where the Husker coaches would really like to see TJ work through a little bit of maybe tiredness right now, because the number one wrestler at his weight is Gabe Dean from Cornell, who is short, stocky, clubs you a lot, wrestles hard, front headlock stuff, so always trying to score. And Dudley has the attacks that he can beat him. It's just that continuing to wrestle, and when you're tired, not thinking about it, and just find a way to keep moving and keep attacking.
Stoppage here is for a nosebleed by Koepke. Sai was a little bit earlier in the second period. You kind of saw traces of blood possibly, and but now in the start of the third period, you're able to see it.
With this referee wanting action to continue, definitely. You see a little bit of blood, he kind of lets it go, but at some point it becomes a hazard of sorts.
Dudley up quick. Good return by Koepke. Dudley, though, able to sit back out and get right back to his feet. 1-point escape for TJ Dudley.
It's a great mentality that Koepke did. Dudley got to his feet, and instead of just letting him go, he returned him, put him down, and then cut him.
Good takedown for TJ Dudley. Koepke was in on a single leg, had what looked to be like a pretty good takedown, but Dudley just too good with knowing where his hips are.
He's very deceptive with those. Sometimes when he takes a few seconds and stops wrestling, he just really baits you into something that he's ready for.
Time called. Looks like blood time called again.
The referee was hoping that he could just shove the plug in a little bit farther and stop the bleeding, but then we took a second look at it. He decided, no, you better clean it off.
Both men working hard here. Koepke knows that this is a really needed match for his team to get away with some points. It's not looking good, though, with a minute 10 seconds left. You see Koepke really hitting hard on the head. Dudley not showing any ill effects from it.
1 minute remaining in the third period.
Clubbing the head is good and fakes are good, but when you can combine them, that's really when you can get your opponent off balance.
In on a single leg. seems like every time he gets in on a single leg, TJ Dudley's wizard brings that arm right up to his hip.
That wizard with his left arm works well, and then with his other hand, he's attacking the grip of Koepke.
Good duck under by Koepke to get a takedown, and he was cutting him right away, looking for more points. Dudley with a shot.
There's a little bit of that baiting that we were talking about earlier. Stands up straight, then at the last second before he attacks, lowers his level and fires in.
Look here on this duck under. Great. He went for a sort of trip to almost distract Dudley and goes right underneath for 2.
Gets a little redundant, but chain wrestling is what the best wrestlers in the world and nation do.
That's right.
This is a point in the match when, as a coach, you want to yell stuff to TJ Dudley, but he has such a good feel in these scramble positions that you just kind of sit back and cringe and just let it happen.
That is for sure. TJ Dudley wins this one 11-4. Gives Nebraska back the lead 12-10 over the Illini.